Good Friday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. Good morning, good people. Man, we are one step closer to making the playoffs. It's almost an absolute positive lock. If we win, we're in. The Seattle Seahawks failing basically means if the Commanders lose or if the game ends in a tie, the Cowboys are in the playoffs no matter what we do. But here's what we need to do. We need to finish him, as in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, we're hearing a lot of hype that, upset alert for the Cowboys, that the Cowboys, of course, after last week sneaking out a win, that, they should be, probably going downhill, same old Cowboys. But, I'm on the other side of the fence because we've been here before. This is deja vu to me. We lost to the Green Bay Packers. And, of course, everybody said, oh, the same old Cowboys. How are you going to lose to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers as bad as they are and yada, yada, yada. And then the next week we blow out the Minnesota Vikings 40-3. So the NFL is always evolving and changing, and you can't predict anything. Now, I will say that the Philadelphia Eagles have been consistent throughout. I'm showing you some love, Eagle fans. So calm the F down, okay? Now, for our Cowboys, a couple of things that are happening that I'm actually very, very excited about this weekend. I know that the Jacksonville Jaguars have been playing better. Trevor Lawrence, of course, has had 10 TDs, no interceptions in the last 5 games. And they are playing much better. Much better than they have been playing all season. It seems like Trevor Lawrence is beginning to get into his groove. And, of course, so anybody playing the Cowboys always gets up. Now, for the Jags, I'm looking this back up. The interesting thing is they talk about how good the Jags have been playing. Now, they did beat the Titans last week. The Titans, here's the thing that's interesting about the Titans. The Titans are on a 3-game lose streak. When you look at the victories that Tennessee has had, they've had 2 against the Colts. They had 1 against the Commanders with Carson Wentz, which would probably be their primo victory. They beat the Raiders, they beat Denver, and they beat the Texans. So I'm not ready to say that the Titans were a juggernaut. The Titans won some games, but against the bottom feeders, they lost to the Giants. They lost to the Eagles. They've been losing to teams. The Jaguars, before that, they lost 40-14 to the Lions. Now, the Lions are playing much better football than they had been. They were in a track meet, not really a track meet, I shouldn't say, but a shootout. No, it really wasn't a shootout. A close game. They beat the Ravens 28-27. They lost to the Chiefs 27-17. And they beat the Raiders 27-20. You hear, this is the thing that's funny, that you hear how good Trevor Lawrence has been over the last 5 games. But you beat the Raiders, you lost to the Chiefs, you beat the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, you lost to the Lions, and you beat the Titans. I'm not sure that this is a world-beating, schedule here. Just saying. In the NFL, anybody can beat you. Let's be clear on that. Anybody can beat you on any given Sunday. Sometimes you have a play or two that go against you that all of a sudden starts the onslaught. And I dare say the turnover on the punt was the moment that gave hope to the Texans, along with also playing for pride of Texas. We always have tough games against the Texans. That's nothing new. We lost their inaugural game to the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? They beat us as a new franchise. So I'm going to sweep that one away. Now, for us, we had some bad injuries with losing Terrence Steele. We're not sure what the game plan is. The Cowboys have kind of kept it under vest. We've got Jason Peters. We've got, of course, Tyron Smith, who's going to get back out there. We got Josh Ball that could be playing right tackle, or it could be Tyler Smith. We don't know what the game plan is. All we know is Tyron Smith is going to get back out there, and I'm sure they're going to bring him in there slowly. I'm glad that his first action is going against Jacksonville and not the Eagles. Give him a chance to get out on the field before this emotional game that's going to happen on Christmas Eve. If you don't think it's not going to be a physical, emotional match, you haven't been looking at the headlines, because definitely this is going to be the game of the season. Yeah, it's going to be huge. Whew. I'm also very excited about TY Hilton getting a chance to play this weekend. And ultimately, I think, at least in the short term, signing T.Y. Hilton is going to be much more beneficial than Odell Beckham Jr. That's not to say for next year that, T.Y. Hilton is a better answer than possibly Odell Beckham Jr. We don't know what Odell's final stats are going to be on his knee, if his knee is going to be fully recovered or what. But we do know that he hasn't even run routes for anybody out there yet. And since we are less than a month away from our last game, we got 4 games left. You need somebody to get used to playing with Dak right now. And getting T.Y. Hilton out there now, I think is going to be good. Yes, he has not played in a year. Neither has Odell Beckham Jr. But he's not recovering from an ACL injury where he can't even physically work out. He's healthy. He is 3 years older than Odell Beckham Jr., but he's ready to go right now. I don't know how much he has left at 33, but when you look at where we are with our wide receiver core, it's actually, hold on, broadcast media, excuse me. Broadcast media, where I'm the cameraman as well. When we look at wide receivers numbers, and this is one of those things that people say, well, Dak Prescott, he's forcing the ball, he's just not letting it fly, he's trying to, get these guys that are covered. Well, there's a reason to that. It's not that we have guys that are wide open and he just decides that he wants to throw into double coverage. It's throw into double coverage or throw into nothing, because there is no separation like you see in other teams. There are 3 great receivers that somebody is going to get, wide open. It's CeeDee Lamb, and that's really it. When you look at other teams, and it was so amazing because everybody is praising Brock Purdy. Oh my God, Brock Purdy, he's great. He's an incredible quarterback. Did you notice on the pass plays that he hit out there how wide open and alone the receivers were? How many times have you seen receivers wide open with the Cowboys? To me, every time I look at them, they are covered. They got guys draped all over them. There is no separation. And so when you have that situation, of course, there's going to be more errors. There's going to be more tip passes because a guy's trying to catch the ball and somebody else is hitting him immediately. And, you're now had to readjust because now your body slipped. Those are things that happen with the receiver. And this goes back to what Micah Parsons was saying about Jalen Hurts. Is it Hurts or is it also the team? If you have a great team and players around you, you're going to look great. If you have an ass team with no players, I don't care what quarterback it is, they're not going to look good. And as we look at this, Tyreek Hill has been an absolute beast this year. He's already at 1,400 yards, 100 receptions. Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Austin Eckler, Devontae Adams got 82. Aaron Brown has got 82. Travis Kelce's got 81. DK Metcalf has got 79. Tyler Lockett's got 78. Now, I want you to keep in mind, listen to this. You've got two guys on the Seattle Seahawks, two guys with Geno Smith that have more receptions than our number one guy. DK's got 79. Tyler Lockett's got 78. Michael Pittman at 76. Cooper Kupp, who's been injured quite a bit, at 75. And then we have finally CeeDee Lamb as our first receiver on the list. And CD is having a great year. He needs 39 yards and he's got 6 TDs. He needs 39 yards to get to 1,000, which is great. But then you go down the list. You got Amari Cooper with 63. Go through that whole page. We got one guy. One guy. Well, let's go to the next page and see where we see the next Cowboy. Let's see. I see Juju. I see T. Higgins. Let's see. Oh, okay. Tyler Higbee. Alvin Kamara. Okay. Aaron Jones. Oh, no Cowboys receivers on the second page. Let's go to the third page. David Njoku. Let's see. Malik Hollins. Drake London. Tyler Conklin, Brandon Cooks, Josh Jacobs. Let's see, Noah Fant. Oh. No Cowboys on page number 3. We get to page number 4, and we see, let's see, Dalton Schultz. Anyone? Did I miss it? Hold on, let me go back. Hold on, maybe I missed it. Oh, Dalton Schultz, 41. Okay. Page number 3. Dalton Schultz is our second leading receiver at 41. Mind you, Dalton Schultz has had 5 drops this season. And Dalton Schultz has been injured and in and out of the lineup. Our number 2 receiver is Dalton Schultz at 41 receptions. Next page. Let's see. I thought we had Noah Brown. Maybe it's the next page. Is it Noah Brown? Let's see. They're so far down I can't find. Oh, Michael Gallup at 30. Okay. On page number 5. Michael Gallup, 30 receptions, 337 yards. Yeah. And I want to say Noah Brown is somewhere around there too. Noah Brown, I think, is actually a little bit higher. Let me get out of this. You see my point here, because Noah Brown has actually 34. That's not a lot of passes. It's not a lot of yardage. There's not a lot of separation, and you can truly say, you can look at our team and say, we're more of a running team. But when you don't have somebody who can stretch the field and somebody that has more experience, the fact that Noah Brown is, got more passing yards than receptions than Michael Gallup is scary. And this is why having a TY Hilton, who is a veteran, and you already hear CeeDee Lamb, I want to pick his brains, because CeeDee Lamb is our elder statesman, and this is only his 3rd year, that he can learn from T.Y. Hilton. And T.Y. may be able to catch some of those contested catches in traffic. He may be able to be an extra force where people have to respect him. And I'm going to say he's also fresh. He hasn't been having the pounding of every single week. So for me, in my mind, right now, T.Y. Hilton was the better signing than Odell Beckham Jr. And that's not to say that, something's intimate, here, stand by. Skip Bayless, of course, telling us that his sources said, yeah, okay. But let's listen to Get Up this morning and how they feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cowboys.
Not once did I ever disrespect Hurts or any other player in any way. I'm just talking football. Like, if football is a hurtful conversation, then what are we playing for? I think the job's more hurtful than conversation. You know, if we can't have opinions, I mean, you guys get to talk all day. Why can't we just talk a little chatter, you know?
These are different times from the times, even, Nico, that you played and RC that you played. So, Ryan, I'll start with a two-part question for you. One, forget about being in the media, forget about being on ESPN and the host of The Pivot and everything else, because I know that from that standpoint, we love it when players say things like this. But if you're a player on his team, do you like or not like Micah Parsons with the talking? And secondly, does it have any impact at all on what happens this week or next on the field?
No, it doesn't. I mean, you still have to go out and play the game. Yes, and somebody's going to have to block Micah Parsons, which most tackles in the NFL haven't been able to do to a high level this year. But you don't necessarily concern yourself with what Micah Parsons is saying, because you understand that the game is decided when you put football pads on. And what Micah has to do is back up his talk. When he steps out there and he's across from Lane Johnson, what are you going to do when the run comes your way against Philadelphia, which it seems like they were attacking you in the first meeting? Are you going to step up and play better this time? And the thing I would ask him, though, is if I'm his coach, is what is it helping? Not necessarily how does it hurt us. Is you speaking, is you saying these things, is you being part of the media, is that helping build your brand? Is that helping you be a better player? Is that helping this team get closer to winning a Super Bowl? And I think those are the questions that Micah Parsons has to answer, and who he'll have to answer to in the locker room. But as far as the players, you're going to ride with your guy, but the one that has to lead this team out of the huddle both this week and on Christmas Eve is going to have to be Micah Parsons, and he's going to have to lead with his play. Because if he doesn't, you know, that media that gets to talk, you know, stuff, as he said, talk crap, they're going to be talking a ton of crap about number 11, and he may not like it.
The one thing that, and you were telling us this morning in our meeting, Nico, that there'll be guys who will be seeking him out on the field when they meet a week from Saturday, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think back to playing against Bart Scott. And Bart, I like Bart now, but I didn't like Bart when I played against Bart. And if I was on offense, I'd probably want to give Bart a little, you know, give him a little something. But when you have this back and forth, that's football, right? There's always been the back and forth. It's part of the game. But the best thing about football is when you get on the field, you can go out there and you can assault somebody basically, and it's fine. Yeah. Like, you're not going to get arrested for it. You're not going to get arrested for it. Yeah. You're going to go out, you're going to tackle somebody, you might put them in the ground pretty hard. You might, you know, an offensive lineman, you can get after somebody, you can put their head in the ground. It's great. But again, this is the thing. You go back to the last matchup. They ran the ball 26 times at Parsons. 26 times. 20 of those plays were positive plays. So they had a game plan. Let's run at 11. Let's go after him. And now I guarantee they're going to do that again.
So here we are sitting here talking about a game that gets played a week from Saturday. In the meantime, the Cowboys have to play Jacksonville on Sunday. And as we put our picks up on the screen, and if you're with us yesterday, you know Ninko thinks that the Cowboys are going to get knocked off. Brooke, it does feel as though it kind of meets a lot of the definitions of the classic trap game where Micah Parsons is already talking about the Eagles and everything else. Is this a trap for the Cowboys?
I don't think it can be, because they almost got trapped against the Texans. Is there such thing as a double trap game? I mean, at that point, are you just a team on a slide, right? Like, I think that Texans game has to be a wake-up call for this team that, okay, we thought that we were the second best team in the NFC. Maybe we're third now. The second or third best team in the NFC does not come down to almost losing to the Texans like that. I think they go out and they have a convincing win against the Jags, knowing that this Eagles game is coming up. But they've got to stop talking about Philadelphia and make Jacksonville the focal point of this week.
Again, Ninko was picking the Jaguars. RC, I see that you're picking the Cowboys. But for those who aren't paying much attention, Jacksonville started really badly this season. But they, and in particular their quarterback, playing a lot better. Is this a scary game for Dallas to you?
Yeah, I believe this is a scary game. And listen, I'm listening to Brooke talk about not having double traps. If you couldn't set more than one trap, then IG models would not be thriving in 2022. You can trap as much as you want. When you look at who the Jacksonville Jaguars have become, they're protecting Trevor Lawrence on offense. Trevor Lawrence is showing why he was the #1 overall pick. And from the skill players position, they're making plays. And so this is going to be an extremely tough game for the Dallas Cowboys. But what helps you is playing the way you did against the Houston Texans Texans, now Mike McCarthy, now Kellen Moore, now Dan Quinn get to come in and coach you as if you lost. And as a player, you're feeling like you did because it took a 98-yard drive for you to beat the worst team in the NFL. I think that the Dallas Cowboys will have their antennas up and be prepared to play, and they're going to have to against this young and upcoming Jacksonville Jaguars team.
There you go. A spicy start on a football Friday as we roll on.
This isn't.
All right, so there you go. There you have it. Now, for me, I think the TY Hilton signing was actually a very, very good signing. I wish they had actually looked at this sooner than later, but the Cowboys are always that, I got my term papers due tomorrow. I'm going to start it tonight. They always wait till the last minute to make plays like this. Hopefully it's not too late. And, of course, they're keeping their options open that maybe Odell might be closer to being ready and added it. But I just have a fear of saying we're going to start playing a guy in the playoffs who's never played with us before, who has not played in a year. I'm okay with putting T.Y. Hilton out there, getting him used to playing. You've got 4 games to really get in shape and really get ready to rock and roll and get on the same page as the quarterback. We'll see how it all works out this weekend. It's going to be busy. I'm going to have to start working on getting my shit together for Sunday today because tomorrow we have 3 games, and we're going to try and live stream all of them, so I need to get my big sub early in the morning. I've got to go get my chicken wings because I'm out of chicken wings for Sunday as well, and get everything ready to rock and roll. And, of course, we've got some more prints and things out here that we're getting for you guys, and we want those to all be done before Christmas. So you know how we roll, good people.
Our folks here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe for the Sports Report. You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I get to say is, how about this?